Okay, I just had that muted because I was doing a bunch of annoying, typing and stuff. So, hey! Alrighty, so now I can get back to the actual content. Here we go. My hands are crunchy. I have one more request for Aqua and then I can get going, and I'm probably going to see if I can't actually make it all the way through this set of requests. So, here we go. How's everyone's evening so far, by the way? Mine's going alright. Just normal Wednesday stuff. If I actually get all 5 of these done tonight, I will be so happy. For now, I'm not going to full screen this so that I can keep an eye on the time. But I may full screen it later if it starts acting up on me. So again, how's everyone's evening so far? Mine's just kind of unremarkable in general. But sometimes no news is good news. And then just got a slum like that. And then I've got the other hand like that. What to talk about? Let's see. I still need to come up with a solidified design for Kendall's face. All I know is that he's got this broken nose here, and then he should at least vaguely resemble Jason, especially in the chin and stuff, but other than that, I don't have much as far as his facial structure goes. I'm not fully sure what contour of this arm here. His head's a little too big, I think. I might actually see if I can't. I hate doing this because of the way the transform here works. Well, I should clarify, I hate doing this in the line art stage, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So, let's make sure this is close as possible. Let's just size it down a bit. That's better. And then I can go back here and have his arm hidden behind the rest of him. There's really not a lot of either of them visible, but I feel like this moment was exactly the right one for this scene. But I could be wrong, you know. Sorry if the microphone's picking this up. My ears have been really itchy lately. Don't know why. Well, I mean, I have an idea why. I have, like, some kind of eczema on my ears. I've had it since I was, what, 10-ish? We lived in a place that we suspect may or may not have been some kind of drug den or lab or something. And apparently the residue does cause eczema-like symptoms in the skin. But for them to be this persistent, going on a full 11.5 years later, that doesn't... it seems like something that should have gone away by now. But one of these days, or maybe none of these days, I will actually be able to see a dermatologist about it. But, I mean, it's not that important, it's just itchy, you know? But I think we established that Kendall has a black shirt, and then he's wearing camouflage pants, but you can't really see the pattern from here. His shirt, I'm going with sleeveless to make him look, I don't know, I'm making him look a little kind of stereotypical, which may not be a good thing, but I can always give him sleeves later, if you guys want me to give him sleeves. Let's see. Then we add the whites of the eyes. Our gray, I'm going to give them just the slightest blue tint. That's why that's not doing the thing. There we go. View, background color. Actually, guys, I don't know what the latency on this stream is right now, but I'm just gonna finish up this one part of the line art, and I'm gonna ask you guys, should this be a daytime or nighttime scene, and if so, indoors or outdoors? Just how should I block in the fuzzy background shapes? I'm leaving that up to you. Let's see. Oh, wow. Chat's gotten lively. That is cool. Good to see you all here. At the bad art, I have a German accent and a bad one. So now it's on to Dylan and Chase in their Lyoko forms. This one, I had to, what was I going to say about this one? I was quite a bit nervous about this one because I wasn't sure what their Lyoko forms looked like, and nobody who really knows has any drawings of them where I can get to them. So, this one was done based on description, and I always prefer working from reference images to descriptions, even though I can actually work on descriptions. But I ran it by Aqua, who wrote the fanfiction that these appear in, or the fanfiction that I referenced that these appear in. And she said they looked great, so I'm going with these. For those of you who don't know, Dylan and Chase are brothers. Chase is the older brother and Dylan is the younger brother, but Chase often acts like like it's just the opposite. Chase is a bit of a goofball. Tends to run his mouth a bit. Gets them into trouble sometimes. But, and then Dylan is more quiet and stuff. I believe Dylan actually likes sports. Chase likes history. But, I'm just gonna keep drawing these guys, and then I'll check the chat once I've got this line art done. That's my brother shuffling around in the house. Someone called our house phone, even though they know I'm usually streaming at this time. Well, it depends who called, I guess. My family knows I'm busy at this time. Telemarketers might not. But, I'm not here to answer telemarketer calls. I'm here to draw, and draw I shall. Unless you guys, like, want me to answer a telemarketer call one of these days if we luck out. But, the other piece, and whether it should be daytime or nighttime, and then I'm gonna switch to a thinner brush, and, check and finish this. Almost said check this out. Why would I check it out? I drew it. I already know what it looks like. But telemarketer calls can be kind of interesting if you actually answer them. I remember the trumpet instructor in the band that I was in. We had one of the other flute players, she had a telemarketer keep calling her during practice, and so the trumpet instructor picks up the phone and pretends to be like a deep web hitman or something. Says something like, "The job's done. Place is a mess. You may want to send in a cleanup crew. I expect my payment by Tuesday." Hangs up. Did not bother her again. He also told us about how this one time apparently he got one of those scam calls that said, "Your brother is in trouble in London and needs money to be bailed out of jail." I can't recall whether he had a brother or not, but I think I don't know. I can't recall whether he had a brother or not, but he then said, "Which brother? Give me a name." So the guy gives him a name, obviously the wrong one if he did have a brother, and he yells into the phone, "He can rot," and hangs up. Messing with telemarketers and scammers is pretty fun sometimes, I guess. I don't know, it makes for interesting stories. But I'm almost done with Chase's bodysuit here, so I guess I will scoot ahead and check the chat. If it will switch applications. Let's see what's going on. Daytime indoors. That sounds good. Hey man, you need your sleep, you need your sleep. I'm not gonna judge. I mean, like, if you can call my sleep schedule even a schedule, except for Wednesdays. Honestly, I don't go to sleep until like 5 or 6 in the morning, and then I don't get up until like 2 in the afternoon. But I mean, it works out to about 8 hours. It's just not normal human 8 hours. And it's probably very unhealthy. I'm sure I will regret that eventually. But, did I not fill in the whites of his eyes? I had it on a different setting. That's what happened. But no, I am in no place to judge anyone else's sleeping habits. Just not even gonna go there. Let's see. Zoom out. And I'm just gonna and gleaming city in the background, I guess. And then filter, blur. There we go. And then I can throw in a gradient in this background. Here we go, foreground. Come on, switch colors. Still not switching colors, huh? Oh well. Let's just throw in some clouds. And then what I might do is I might go in here and then filter, blur. And then I'm just gonna take this and then up. There we go. Anyway, back to this. I was using... What size brush was I using? That's a good question. Yeah, looks like about a 10. Anyway, to finish this one up, I'll check the chat as soon as I finish with Dylan's face again. I'm going quiet a lot. That's not good. I made his face too round here. I didn't mean to do that. Good thing there's an undo button. My cat accidentally hits my delete key a lot because usually I don't actually sit at my desk and work because this chair is super uncomfortable. I don't know what it is with me and chairs. Like, chairs and I do not seem to get along that well. I've always had super weird posture in chairs if I can possibly get away with it. But I can't really get away with it because my desk is too low and the chair is too high. And so I don't usually work here at my desk. So my cat gets to sit in my lap and watch me work a lot. And she likes to hit my delete key for some reason. I think she thinks it's funny. But anywho, back to this. As soon as I finish his face, I'll check the chat again. The other requests are actually pretty simple. So I feel like I can probably spend until about the 35 on this. Or I can go a little bit over time. 3 minutes over isn't really that bad. Anyway. So I didn't actually know that Dylan was supposed to be super fit the first time I drew him. So he ended up being kind of scrawny. And it feels kind of weird fixing that mistake. But he's not scrawny like I'm used to drawing him. So you know, it wouldn't be weird if I'd just gotten it right the first time. But lessons learned. And another weird hand, because I refuse to not draw them. You can probably hear the other cat in the other room. She doesn't get along with the other cats, so she has an entire room to herself. It's about the time I think she usually gets her canned cat food. My brother should be taking care of that. And even if he's not, waiting an extra hour isn't really gonna hurt her. She's pretty chubby. Like, she's not... None of our cats are actually, like, horribly obese, unlike us. But, on them. And, the thing fix that because we have one who is kind of food aggressive. And he'll try to, and he'll eat whatever food we set out, but the other one doesn't like to eat if there are people watching her eat. So the other option would be to find a room to feed the second cat in without supervision, but we don't really have that kind of space. Because the only room that fits that bill anymore is my room, which is not exactly a safe cat space. Because I have all kinds of supplies and pointy things, and I think last time I let a cat in here it was Yoshi, and he pulled a bookcase down on himself. I mean, not the entire case, but like an entire shelf worth of textbooks. And that was not fun for anyone. I mean, he came out of it just fine, but I was pretty mad for a while because organization isn't easy for me, and when it doesn't last a week, I get pretty mad. And I had, like, just gotten those books finally organized, and, one fell swoop. But, that's life, I guess. I'm just glad the cat was okay. Because I think it was like easily 20 plus pounds of textbooks he pulled on himself. Which is just a little under twice his body weight. So it could have been bad. That would be the equivalent of me pulling like 500 pounds of stuff onto me. But in any case, he's fine. It's good. I still haven't gotten that shelf fixed again. But I will one of these days. So I have got a bunch of extra detailing on this to do after I check the chat, but I'm making pretty good time. So, what's going on? Alrighty. So, I'm just gonna take this down to about a 5 and get on the bodysuits here. What to talk about? This detailing, probably not the best I've ever thought out, but it'll do for now, I guess. But yeah, once I get to about the 35, then I think I'll start trying to lightning round the rest of these. I know I usually have a movie recommendation for these evening streams, but honestly, I don't have one this time. Unless you count, like, episodes of Mystery Science Theater. Not the movies from them, the actual episodes. The movies, or the episodes, are what make them really fun to watch. Because otherwise you've just got a boring movie. Or maybe an entertainingly cheesy movie that's fun to make fun of. But, I guess if I'm gonna recommend episodes of Mystery Science Theater tonight, I guess, let's see, Squirm wasn't particularly good, except its opening was, the opening to Squirm was really funny. And then Hamlet had, and then their, Hamlet episode, that had some really good jokes in it, so I guess Squirm and Hamlet are my Mystery Science Theater recommendations. I don't know. The whole premise of Mystery Science Theater, though, is that you're watching cheesy movies. The worst, the worst they can find, so, it's not so much a recommendation of the movies as, an anti-recommendation, I guess. But the opening of Squirm is actually where that ham radio quote came from. So if it's actually even better the way that the show handles it. So yeah. If you don't feel like sitting through an entire episode of Mystery Science Theater, I don't blame you. But the opening to Squirm is maybe 5 minutes. So you may not want to stick around for the whole movie. Like, it's It's... the commentary, again, is what makes it funny. The movie itself is just kind of subpar and gross. And scientifically inaccurate. And just not fun in general. Alrighty. That should be about it. And then clavicle here. The Hamlet one was actually funny all the way through. In terms of the commentary. I think my favorite joke in the whole thing was probably when Claudius gives an order and then one of them says, "Who died and made you king?" And, yeah. That was a good one. Let's see. That's right, I made Chase's detailing connect here. Okay, I am officially starting to go over time on this. But that's okay, I will just really lightning round the other ones. Or save one or two of them for next week. That's also an option. I may just make this one another not colored in one. So you guys can color it. Unfortunately, the Instagram version will have to actually be your standard 24-bit PNG file, because Instagram does not display transparent PNGs the way that I like them displayed, with like a background color. The background color they use is actually flat black, hexadecimal code 000, which is what I did all the line art in, so it doesn't even show up. Which there's no point in just having it not show up on Instagram, because Instagram's all about making stuff show up. Seam on the tracksuit there. Almost done. It's okay to go up to 3 minutes over, I think, since I didn't start until I was 3 minutes in. There we go. Alrighty, this is starting to look good. Alright, I'm just gonna move on and check the chat and see what's up, if this will click the right thing. Hands of Fate was the first episode that I actually saw. But I haven't seen Fugitive Alien yet. I need to. Manos the Hands of Fate is... oh boy, that movie. The recurring Torgo jokes throughout the series are just... whenever... I really do... I don't know what to say that hasn't already been said about Manos Hands of Fate. I think if I had to pick a single favorite episode of Mystery Science Theater, aside from Hamlet, because it's Hamlet, and if you speak Shakespearean English, or at least know the play, the writing is good even if the acting and set design isn't. With the Hamlet one, you at least have some decent writing to fall back on, but I think my favorite episode so far of Mystery Science Theater, not The Return, but just, my favorite Mystery Science Theater episode has probably got to be Horrors of Spider Island. 'Cause, I can't believe anybody looked at that script and said, you know, this is a good idea. This will sell. This will put butts in seats. 'Cause, I mean, you don't even really need the commentary to get, you don't even really need to listen to the riff of Horrors of Spider Island to know what they're saying about it. It's just, who even thought it up? Like, I mean, because all these women are apparently, they're dancers. You know, fight me on this, but dancing is a sport. You have to be an athlete to be a dancer, especially professionally, which is why I'm not a dancer, especially not professionally. So you have all these women who are dancers, arguably athletes. I will always argue that they are, but, and they can't walk to shore on their own legs. They have to be carried, like, not even romantic fantasy carried, like sack of potatoes carried. Who thought that was a good idea? I'm torn between I would love to know and I never want to know. But, like they said in the riff, the horror of this movie is the sexism in the script. But, that movie. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but, if you want a real mind-boggler of how did this even get made, Horrors of Spider Island is your episode of Mystery Science Theater to check out. Let's see. I did have a reference somewhere for the Soundwave plushie. Window reference. Still have the reference from last time. Okay, Soundwave plushie. Here we go. But just, I don't know. I maybe don't want to know. But I just, that scene, I can't really say it broke me, but that scene was funny enough without the commentary. It's just, how do you look at that in the script and think, this is going to make us money? Maybe it was the 50s. Maybe I will just never understand the 50s. As people who lived during the 50s keep telling me. Just... it's, like, that's the kind of thing that you would put in, like, a surreal comedy skit. Why? Why did they legitimately think... I don't know. I don't know, and... I mean, it is filling the airtime, so maybe I should keep talking about it. But... I don't know. if you guys want something that's actually good legitimately on its own merits, I recommend checking out the Canadian sitcom Corner Gas. It's on YouTube. You can watch all the episodes for free. It is written and directed by this guy named Brent Butt. And basically it's shenanigans in small town Saskatchewan. It's a very low-key, dry kind of humor. But it does have a lot of merit to it as itself. Like, it's funny, and it's actually intentionally funny. It's not unintentionally funny, like Horrors of Spider Island. But, yeah. I guess instead of an actual movie recommendation, I've just been giving you guys TV show recommendations. I'm gonna check the chat before moving on. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, like, there's, I don't know, there is a difference between a damsel in distress and what was going on in that movie. Like, you could have literally had the girls be mannequins and nothing would change. At least not in that scene. Like, I understand having a damsel in distress, but, anyway, let's see. For the Marvel Cinematic Universe character, I decided to go with Black Widow. Because I am not actually that much of a Marvel fan, but she's cool. So, yeah. I also really like the hairstyle they went with for her. It's a really pretty hairstyle. Like, if I actually cared enough to style my hair, it would actually look really good in a style like that. So, anyway, on to more stuff. There we go. Let's see. So yeah, I don't actually know that much about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But Black Widow looks cool, as a character. Don't really know what to say other than it looks cool. I'd love to be able to keep up with it one day, but that day is not today. And it looks like I will have to be using that technique from before. But that is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Let's see. Scarlett Johansson has pretty eyes. I guess I can say that. But, yeah. I'm just going through and doing the line art on these, and then I will come back and color them, just to see if that helps with the workflow and stuff. zoom out a little. Alright, this should work. Her shoulders are really broad, but I'm not at a point where I can afford to care. And then, let's see, layer, let's see, convert, no, don't want to convert, I can't merge all either. I will just duplicate alright, and then merge, and then filter, extracting lines, bring this down, there we go, that's better. Alright, now we've got, let's see, how many of these have I gotten done? All I have left is this one, in which Mortem meets Shadow the Hedgehog. I must confess I'm not very good at drawing Sonic characters. And if I don't actually get this done before the end of the stream, I'm probably going to wrap up and color these before I post them. Unless you guys like the idea of every time I don't get something colored, I post the transparent PNG. Because if you guys like that, I will totally keep doing that. Let's see. My thick brush here. So hard to work with. Not hard to work with, but I just don't like it. It's so crude. I feel like I'm insulting someone who actually does really good work with chunky brushes. It's not that the brushes themselves are a problem, it's just I'm not good at using them. So, yeah. And now I can't switch to anything thinner for this guy. I have to rely on my tablet pressure now. Pressure. Excellent Queen song. And I'm on the wrong layer again, but that is okay. Because I have my not-so-secret technique of kind of awesomeness. I don't know. I should just, well, talking and drawing at the same time is hard. Let's see. Almost done. I may actually be able to go in and dash in some very rudimentary coloring. I will do the text for this. I'll do the text for this before I post it. go. And let's see, filter, duplicate, wrong layer. Filter, extracting lines, bring this all the way down, and it's super lame, but I can deal with it because it brings it down to an 8-bit layer, and I can work with that. Alright, now I can actually go and dash in colors here. See, the character that this person, Oja, I think is how it's pronounced. Let me actually check that. Yeah, it's Oja. They're Australian. This one won't actually be in my main DeviantArt gallery. It'll be in Stash. Asked me to draw their OC as a human, and their OC is apparently a toddler, so we have a human toddler here. See, skin is supposed to be tan, but I think I can actually go with the purple if I change my background color to a dark purple. If I desaturate it some more. There we go. That almost looks like a human skin tone. I might play around with it a little bit more. It's a little better. And then I'm not sure what color the eyes are supposed to be, but I'm just going to leave them the same color as the background, and then I can take some dark colors and fill in this Soundwave plushie. And then lighter gray, that's too light. There we go. And then let's go with that we'll have to do, and then I'll go a dark color here. And here, a skin color here with the same color like that. And then I'm not sure what color her eyes are, but I see them drawn green a lot. They may or may not actually be. Cancel. I need to zoom in here because apparently there is a pixel that is not filled in. And then I can go do this color, fill in shadow. And Mortem with his dark brown shirt. Okay, this is an 8-bit layer. I see the problem. Alright, That's better. So yeah, I was actually able to get these mostly done. You guys want to stick around for a little while I finish this up? Just since there's not that much more to do. What do you guys think? Yeah, I decided to make Mortem a chibi to go with this. I'm just gonna keep streaming until I'm actually done. With this one, I'm not gonna finish the Enhart Brothers drawing on this. I will upload that as a thing that you guys can color in. Let's see, all the way down to this Mortem reference I made. Here we go. Fill this in. The original reference that I had for Mortem was actually a chibi. Which is kind of interesting. I'm actually not good at chibis at all, but I guess when you gotta make something work, you find a way to make it work. There we go. Not the most on model I've ever drawn him, is it? Let's see. And then let's go and get my shadow reference. Here we go. Protect Alpha. There's one. Alright. And then he has red eyes. Turn off Protect Alpha there. And then there we go. And then he's got about this color for this. So thank you guys for sticking with me. This has actually been a really fun stream for me. I hope it was fun for you guys too. But yeah, I am coming up on the end of this. Let me just turn this to a transparent background so I can color in these gloves. And then I forgot to give Mortem his yellow eyes. There we go. Alright, not the most on model I've ever been, but potentially not the worst I've ever drawn either. Alright, I think I can safely say that this stream is good to go, and I will see you guys next week, and I have had a lot of fun. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and I will see you in the next one, and I'll be posting these in a jiffy. Bye!